All right. So in 1945, Steve Rogers was frozen. Okay? He was frozen all the way till 2011. And then in 2023, after all the shit that has gone down in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in 2023, he decides it's time to retire. What does he do? He goes back to 1945 and meets up with Peggy. But here's the thing, back in 1945, there's a frozen captain. He's still frozen. So him meeting up with Peggy does not affect the fact that he's still frozen. The only sensible solution is that he kept the fact that he had returned a secret. Only he and Peggy knew. Maybe a select other few that he trusted. Who knows? I don't know. But definitely he and Peggy were the only ones that knew that he returned. And definitely knew about the events that have taken place from 2011 to 2023. So, when he goes back to 1945, he lives a full life from 1945 to 2023. Blame the super soldier serum. He's probably over 100 years old. I haven't had time to calculate his actual age at that point. He's over 100 years old. He can't do, there's no way he can still be Captain America. So what does he do? After living in the shadows from 1945 all the way to 2023, watching everything happen, knowing everything that has taken place, watching it from the shadows, he emerges from the shadows in 1945. He emerges and passes the torch to Falcon. He passes the torch to Falcon at the same point that his younger version, because while he was still living in the shadows in 1945, there's a younger version of him that was unfrozen in 2011 and then took place in everything that happened from 2011 to 2023. He was while the older one was in the past. Basically from 1945 all the way to 2023, there were two Steve Rogers. The younger one enters the time machine and goes back to 1945. The older one emerges from the shadows after hiding from 1945 to 2023 in order to pass the torch to Sam Wilson. Before 1945, there was one Steve Rogers. After 1945, there were two Steve Rogers. One that was frozen and one that was living a sweet, quiet life with Peggy. In 2023, from 1945 to 2023, there were two Steve Rogers. In 2023, the younger one goes back in the time machine, goes back to 1945 to become the older one. The older one emerges from the shadows. From 2023 to the future, there is only one Steve Rogers who is old and can't do shit. Thank you. I hope this explains it.